My promise is to be with you to the end of the ages. I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. My name is David Woodall with the Emsdale Pastoral Charge in the United Church of Canada. We're weaving together today two images: the words I promise and the image of flowing, refreshing water. I promise. Those are big words on the journey of life. They're the words that God shares with us. I promise to be with you to the end of the ages. And they're the words that we share with God. They're the words that we share with each other. I promise. A promise is like an unbreakable bond that we make together. It is a covenant that we make with each other. It's a commitment about the kind of people we are going to be, and it speaks about the way we live our lives. There is a choosing that goes on when we say, I promise. We could easily choose not to say, I promise. Most people that I have met try to live their lives with a sense of integrity. One of the discoveries of behavioral sciences is that even people who constantly lie to other people have their own sense of integrity. It might not be ours, but it is a standard of behavior for them. When they violate that standard, they do not feel good about themselves. At the heart of each of us is a desire to live our lives with a sense of integrity. The person that you see here is the person that you see there, or the person that you see there. There is an essential honesty to our living. The images of water flowing is a wonderful allegory of life. Water is at times refreshing and cooling and reviving. At other times it's angry and swirling and dangerous. It can be babbling brooks tripping gently over stones. It can be the water of the womb breaking forth new life. It can be the water of baptism flowing over the head of a child of God. It speaks of love, promises, commitment, and hope. It can be a river running swift and deep. But water is always moving on, never staying in one place. Now, I suppose that's not really true. There are backwaters, places with standing water. Often they're stagnant. They breed mosquitoes. There is a spot in Lake Erie where the backwash of the lake causes the poison and pollution in the lake to concentrate. You don't swim there, and the fish are not worth eating. Flowing water has a feeling of health about it. A flowing life has a feeling of health about it. Now, many of us have had the sense that I am going nowhere anymore, and it feels like our life is drained away. Flowing water has a feeling of health about it. Each of us are navigating the river of life. There are periods when the river flows peacefully, and there are times when it seems that we are in a backwater growing stagnant. There are times in which the stretch being navigated is characterized by strong and apparently conflicting currents. Whirlpools are generated when these currents collide. Navigation is hard and we're not sure where we're going. A friend and I were on a canoe trip. The map wasn't as well marked as it should have been. I paddled in the stern of the canoe because I am heavier than almost anyone else that I can canoe with. I was sure that we had passed the portage and was looking behind. Art in the front of the canoe was sure the portage was just ahead and so was diligently watching the shore. We were, of course, paddling strongly. I looked ahead and said, "That looks like a waterfall coming up." Art looked and said, "No, we're fine." We paddled strongly ahead. About 10 feet from the edge, we agreed that this definitely looked like a waterfall, and actually it was larger than any waterfall we had seen on this trip. Have you ever fantasized about what it might be like to go over Niagara Falls? You know a little bit about then how we felt. Sometimes life is like that. We're paddling strongly, heading towards the waterfall that we should never get into. Disaster lurks. Sometimes we're not sure where we're going. Sometimes we're not sure we'll even survive the journey. Sometimes you backpedal very hard, just like we had to do. There is a place just east of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, where the North and South Saskatchewan rivers meet. People call it the Forks. At times during the early spring breakup of the ice, one river would rise higher than the other. Then, when they met, the higher river would flow down the other, stopping or even reversing its current for several miles. The river flowed in the wrong direction. Under the surface, the colliding currents churned like some kind of tumultuous cauldron. All life, the journey seems smooth. We're flowing in a well-defined, accustomed direction. We're sure of our destination, but then comes some other influence or event that enters our life. The current becomes a tumultuous cauldron. It overpowers us, bringing us to a standstill or even forcing us to go in opposite directions. It might be a planned event, or it might take us by surprise. The force of the current overwhelms us. The birth of a child. If there is one event that changes your life as a parent, it is the birth of a child. The parents have worked out a certain rhythm or direction to their lives. Then their child arrives. It's a wonderful time. It is joyfully anticipated, but it's like another river has joined and suddenly overwhelmed the traditional flow of their life. Time-honored schedules don't work anymore. Hours of the day, meal times, and bedtimes are all thrown into a turmoil. The baby takes over. They make movies about this sometimes. The parents wonder, what did they ever do before the baby came? And they also wonder, will we ever get going again? Now, the event might not be a baby. It might be the choice of a new vocation, or it might be a move to a new community, or the loss of someone you love. We know it will be a real challenge, but the challenge comes at an unexpected time or place, or from unlikely persons or circumstances. What was once a soothing journey now is in turmoil. It's often more negative than positive. It's not at all like we foresaw life being. It becomes not a challenge but a problem, and our lives grind to a halt. Our purposes are frustrated, and we wonder what has gone wrong. Water flowing. Up, around, backwards, forwards. Life flowing. Life never stands still. We continually journey through new experiences. That year older every year makes a lot of difference. All our experiences intertwine. Life and faith come together. We change, we grow, we mature. This journey, though, is more than simply letting life affect us. We make choices along the way. We consciously affect our lives. We constantly choose our directions, and we influence our destinations. Our children and our grandchildren will grow up. We will try to instill in them the things they need in order to make their own journeys healthy and successful. I promise that's part of what we do. Their kids, they are so excited when they are able to make their own first journeys. In the beginning, it's that first walk down the sidewalk on their own. Later, it's that first trip to school, or that bike ride to the store. And still later, it's that first drive in the car, or that move away from home to college or university. By that time, of course, they are making many other journeys into love and self-esteem, personality, and faith. We will try to instill in them the things they need in order to make their own journeys healthy and successful. I promise. In those two words, we affect not only the flow of our own lives, but the flow of their lives as well. Journeying means decision-making. It means changing. It means growing. This river of life is intimately bound up with faith. You cannot separate your faith and your life. For a brief instance, in the endless series of time, our paths have crossed. And we're richer for it, and our lives are richer for it, and our faith is stronger because of it. Choose this day whom you will serve. What branch of the river will you go down? Will others be glad this day because you pass their way? God made an unbreakable promise to each one of us to love us and to be with us until our dying day, and even after that. We made a promise to each other and to God to travel together, to hear God's voice, to share wisdom and help with each other, to grow in our faith, to grow in our lives. The North and the South Saskatchewan rivers do in fact form a single river. Its banks are steeper, its current is swifter, its direction more certain. At the place where they join, a small park has been created. There people may stop and see the union of the two rivers and have a picnic if they wish. All things, by the grace of God, come together in a river that flows ever deeper and swifter. Two images of faith and life weave together today. The words "I promise" and the image of flowing, refreshing water. And in closing, the words of Jesus. Let anyone who's thirsty come to me. Let the one who believes in me drink. God bless us all. Amen.